My dear friends. They thought that by cracking your DNA, they could tear you apart at your core. They spent sleepless nights, scheming, trying to dig their claws into your very being, your essence, your identity. But they didn't realize something. They never stood a chance. Picture this. You're standing in front of them, ready to be torn down. Maybe it was a betrayal, maybe it was a personal attack, or perhaps they simply thought you were weak, easy to manipulate. They tried to dissect you, looking for your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. They thought if they cracked the surface, if they got deep enough into your heart and mind, they could break you, expose you for what they thought you were. They were wrong. They underestimated you. They saw a challenge, not a warrior. And that was their first mistake. The truth is, we all have moments in life where others try to tear us down, to fracture us. It's a universal experience, people seeking to bring you to your knees. They don't care how it affects you. It's all about what they can gain. They see a chink in your armor and they pounce. They think they can use that crack to destroy you, to expose you as something less than what you truly are. But they don't realize the strength in that crack. You see, cracks don't just break things, they allow light in. They create room for growth. And it is in the deepest cracks, the ones where you thought you were broken, that the most powerful transformations happen. At first, it felt like they were right. You were broken, weren't you? You felt it in the pit of your stomach, the weight of their words, their actions. You felt small, insignificant. For a moment, you let them have control over you. You let them determine your worth. It wasn't easy, and it hurt like hell. But that was the moment the change began. What they didn't know is that they were setting the stage for something greater. They cracked your DNA, but they didn't know what they were unleashing. What they thought would be the end of you was in reality the beginning of a metamorphosis, a transformation that would render them powerless. You survived. And not only that, you thrived. In the chaos of their attack, in the wreckage they tried to create, you found something deeper within yourself. You began to understand your true strength. It wasn't about being perfect or being invincible. It was about being resilient. You learned that the cracks they made weren't signs of weakness. They were proof of your survival. Every attack, every betrayal, every manipulation only added more layers to who you were becoming. And when you finally emerged from the rubble, you weren't the same. No, you were more. You were something they couldn't possibly have predicted. You were an evolved version of yourself, stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever before. They tried to tear you down, but all they did was make you unstoppable. It's not just about surviving the attacks. It's about using them to fuel the next phase of your evolution. The world isn't kind to the weak. It doesn't care about your sob stories or your excuses. It rewards the ones who are willing to rise again, stronger than ever before. And that's exactly what you've done. When they cracked your DNA, they didn't just unlock your weaknesses. They unlocked something far more dangerous, your potential. And when they saw it, when they realized what they had done, it shook them to their core. They never thought it would happen this way. It's almost ironic, isn't it? How they thought that by attacking you, they could control you, manipulate you, break you. They thought that in exposing your flaws, they could diminish you. But in reality, all they did was expose your true power. They underestimated what happens when you take all their attempts at breaking you and transform them into fuel. They didn't know that when you face an attack head-on, when you face betrayal and manipulation with grit, you don't just survive, you become stronger. And stronger people aren't just difficult to defeat, they're impossible to break. It's easy to be misled by the image of vulnerability. When people attack you, when they try to crack your core, they want you to think you're weak. They want you to believe that by exposing your flaws, they can render you powerless. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Your flaws, your weaknesses, they're not your downfall. They're your foundation. The cracks they created in you didn't break you, they built you. The deeper they tried to go, the more they revealed about your strength. The more they pushed, the stronger you became. But that's not the part they saw coming. No, what they didn't understand is that there's something unique about those who face the worst and turn it into something great. There's something incredible about those who refuse to let others define their worth. The world may try to crack your core, to shatter your confidence, but your strength lies in your ability to adapt, to grow, and to use their attempts to fuel your fire. It's not enough just to survive. It's not enough just to withstand the storm. It's about becoming the storm. And that's exactly what happened when they cracked your DNA. They didn't break you, they only unlocked your true potential. They shook you, they rattled you, but in doing so, they exposed the power they never expected. They forced you to evolve. And now, as they look at you, as they see what you've become, they wish they could take it all back. They wish they never tried to crack your core, because in doing so, they unknowingly created a monster, a version of you that is now untouchable. They tried to crack your DNA. They didn't realize they were unlocking something far beyond their comprehension. They unleashed your power. And as they stand there, stunned by the transformation they never saw coming, the only thing they can think is, what have we done? They never realized the true consequence of their actions, the power they unleashed when they tried to break you. What they thought was your breaking point was simply the beginning. They didn't know that every effort to tear you down was like a spark in a dry forest. It would set off a fire that could never be put out. Now, that fire is burning bright, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They thought they could break you. They believed that if they pushed you far enough, you would crack. But what they didn't understand is that you're not made of glass. You're made of something far stronger, far more resilient. They tried to tear you apart, but all they did was feed the beast inside of you. And now, that beast is awake. The version of you they tried to destroy is no longer here. You've evolved into something unrecognizable, something unstoppable. Every push, every insult, every attempt to bring you down only made you more dangerous. They thought they were weakening you, but they were fueling your power. They tried to break you, but they were simply the catalyst for your transformation. What they don't understand is that true strength doesn't come from the easy times. It doesn't come from comfort or safety. True strength is forged in the fire of hardship, pain, and betrayal. And you, my friend, were forged in that fire. They didn't realize that when they tried to break your spirit, they were giving you a gift. They were showing you exactly how much you could handle, how far you could push yourself, and how deep your strength really went. They gave you the blueprint for your own evolution, and now you're something they can't control, something they can't even comprehend. The person they thought they could manipulate, the version of you they believed would crumble under pressure, is long gone. You're no longer the person they used to know. You've grown into someone who never backs down, who never gives up. The power they tried to extinguish within you is now your most formidable weapon, and they are left to watch in disbelief as you step into your greatness. They thought they could destroy you by targeting your weaknesses. But what they didn't realize is that your weaknesses are what made you stronger. The very things they thought would break you became the foundation of your power. Your scars are not marks of defeat. They are symbols of your resilience. Every wound they tried to inflict became a testament to your endurance. Now, you stand in front of them, not as a victim of their attacks, but as a force that can no longer be stopped. The transformation you've gone through is something they could never have anticipated, something they can't undo. And that realization is what shakes them to their core. They can't even recognize you anymore. The person they tried to break has risen, and they are powerless in the face of this new version of you. They thought they were going to break you. They thought they were going to see you collapse, to watch you fold under the weight of their pressure. But they were wrong. Instead of breaking you, they made you more powerful than they could have ever imagined. They may have thought they were chiseling away at your foundation, but they failed to see that you were building it all along. They were too caught up in their plans to see the bigger picture, that everything they did was pushing you closer to your destiny, a destiny they could never control. They wanted to see you broken, but what they didn't know was that you were shaping yourself into something unbreakable. Every time they tried to push you, you found new reserves of strength. Every time they tried to tear you down, you rebuilt yourself stronger, sharper, more determined than before. They never understood that you weren't just surviving their attacks. You were thriving off them. The pain, the betrayal, the humiliation, it all became fuel to ignite a fire that can never be extinguished. Every obstacle they placed in your way became a stepping stone for your rise. But there's one thing they failed to realize. You were never meant to stay down. You were never meant to be a pawn in their game, something they could control or manipulate. You were meant to rise, to become greater than what anyone thought was possible. They couldn't see it because they were too blinded by their own arrogance, their own belief that they held all the power. But the truth is, you were always the one in control. The very things they tried to use against you, your flaws, your struggles, your vulnerabilities, are now the things that define your strength. The more they tried to exploit them, the more they proved your power. They thought they could shatter your spirit, but instead, they revealed just how unbreakable you are. Your pain didn't define you. Your resilience did. Now, as you look at them, there is no anger. There is no bitterness. There is only clarity. You see the bigger picture now, the grand design of your evolution. Every single moment they tried to break you only made you more focused, more determined, more capable of handling the challenges ahead. They set in motion something that cannot be undone. They set the stage for you to become the person you were always meant to be. And as they watch you rise, as they see you standing taller than ever, they are left with only one thought: what have we done? The consequences of their actions are now too great to undo. They've tried to control you, break you, and destroy you. But all they've done is helped you unlock the full extent of your power. They were too blind to see that when they tried to crack your DNA, they were unlocking the greatest version of you. The version that was always waiting, ready to be unleashed. The version that cannot be stopped, no matter what they throw at you. They never realized they were giving you the key to your transformation. And now, you stand here, untouchable. The power they tried to break is now a force that can't be contained. They tried to destroy you, but instead, they've made you stronger than they ever could have imagined. You are no longer the person they once knew. You are something greater, something beyond their control. And as you look forward to the future, to all that you are about to accomplish, you can't help but feel grateful for everything they did. Because in the end, their attempts to break you only made you unstoppable. As you look ahead, the weight of what you've become settles within you like an anchor, but not one that weighs you down. Instead, it's a reminder of how far you've come, how much you've transcended, and how much more you're capable of. The future no longer feels uncertain because you now understand the power you hold within. You are not the person who started this journey. You are someone entirely different, someone who cannot be broken, who cannot be controlled. They tried to create cracks in your foundation, but they never realized that what they saw as weakness was your greatest strength. They didn't understand that every challenge, every hardship you faced, was merely preparing you for something greater. Now, as you stand tall, with the echoes of their misguided attempts fading away, you realize that you were always destined for greatness. You no longer feel the need to seek validation or approval from anyone. The voices of doubt that once haunted you have been silenced by the roar of your own confidence. Their words, their actions, they hold no weight anymore. Their efforts to dim your light only ignited a flame that burns brighter than ever. Your light is a beacon now, one that no amount of darkness can ever extinguish. The truth is, those who tried to break you never truly understood what they were dealing with. They saw the surface, the vulnerability, the struggle, but they didn't see the depths beneath. They didn't see the resilience, the tenacity, the unshakable will that was always buried inside you, waiting for the right moment to rise. They believed that by pushing you down, they could keep you there. But instead, they awakened a power that had always existed within you, ready to be unleashed. And now, you realize the ultimate truth. They were never your enemy. They were your teachers. Every setback, every betrayal, every painful moment, they've all served a purpose in shaping the person you are today. In trying to break you, they unknowingly built you up. They were the architects of your transformation, even if they didn't mean to be. Without their attempts to tear you down, you would not have discovered your true strength. You see now that they weren't the ones who held the power. They were simply the catalysts. The real power has always been yours, lying dormant until it was time for you to awaken it. You were never dependent on their approval, their validation, or their acceptance. You always had the power to rise above, to surpass everything they thought you were capable of. And now, as they stand there, they have no choice but to watch in awe as you continue to rise. As you continue to become the unstoppable force you are always meant to be. The world is different now. You see it through a lens of clarity that you never had before. You understand now that the power to create your own destiny has always been in your hands. You are no longer at the mercy of the world around you. Instead, you are the force that shapes your reality. You are the one who decides your worth, your limits, your potential. There will be more challenges, more obstacles, and more people who try to bring you down. That's inevitable. But now, you know something they'll never understand. You are not afraid of the struggle anymore. You welcome it. Each challenge is an opportunity to prove just how far you've come, how much more you can endure, and how much stronger you've become. The battles that once seemed insurmountable now feel like stepping stones on your path to greatness. You've transformed, not just in how you perceive the world, but in how you perceive yourself. The person you were, the version of you that once doubted, once hesitated, once feared the unknown. They are gone. They no longer exist. Instead, you stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of persistence, and the unyielding strength that comes from within. They will never understand the full scope of what they did. They'll never grasp the depth of their mistake. But that's okay, because the person you've become doesn't need their understanding. You don't need anyone to validate the strength you've discovered in yourself. You know who you are now, and that's all that matters. And as you look to the future, you know that this is just the beginning. There's more to come, more victories, more triumphs, and more moments that will leave them in disbelief, wondering how they could have ever thought they could defeat you. The road ahead is clear now. The obstacles that once seemed daunting are nothing more than minor hurdles in your path. With each step you take, you move closer to becoming the ultimate version of yourself, the version that was always waiting to break free. The world may have tried to break you, but in the end, it made you unstoppable. Every piece of your journey, every challenge you've faced, every moment of doubt you've experienced, it's all led you to this point. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the master of your fate, the creator of your destiny. They thought they could crack your DNA, and in doing so, they created something beyond their comprehension. They awakened the fire within you. Now, you are untouchable, unstoppable, and unapologetically you. And as you continue forward, embracing the challenges and triumphs that await, you'll never forget the lessons they taught you. Lessons they never meant to impart. You've learned that the only limits are the ones you impose on yourself. You've learned that true power comes from within, and that you are stronger than anything the world can throw at you. You were never weak. You were always strong. Now, the world will know that too. And there's nothing they can do to stop you.